recording devices must be placed in silent mode, can only be used while seated, and can only be used in a manner that does not interfere with the ability other individuals to view or hear the proceedings. Individuals or groups failing to adhere to these rules will be subject to removal from the remainder of the meeting by the Sergeant at Arms. City of Chicago City Council Rules of Conduct for Public Meetings, 2023 to 2027. Pursuant to Rule 58 of the Chicago City Council Rules of Order and Procedure, the Sergeant at Arms sets forth the following rules of conduct for members of the public. These rules shall be in effect at all times that a viewing gallery or room is open for a meeting of the City Council or any of its committees. All individuals and their belongings are subject to search at entry or upon request. Individuals must remain seated at all times except 1. When entering or exiting the gallery. 2. When providing public comment during the portion of a meeting set aside for that purpose. Or 3. When asked to rise and be acknowledged by a member of the City Council. Profane, threatening, harassing, abusive, or defamatory behavior or speech, which in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the Sergeant at Arms may lead to a breach of the peace or disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting, is not permitted. Disruptive or distracting actions, such as the stomping of feet, waving of arms, throwing any item, whistling, booing, shouting, or other loud utterances, are not permitted when in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the Sergeant at Arms. Such actions are disrupting or impeding the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any item that poses a potential safety hazards, as determined by the Sergeant at Arms, is prohibited in the gallery. Such items include, but are not limited to, 1. Any pointed objects, including knives of any kind. 2. Banners, flyers, or other forms of signage. 3. Food and beverages, including in glass or metal canisters. 4. Backpacks, large bags, and sealed packages. Clear bags, not tinted in color, that do not exceed 12 inches by 6 inches by 12, are permitted and subject to search. And 5. Firearms, ammunition, fireworks, laser pointers, stun guns, tasers, mace, pepper spray, and toy weapons. Cell phones and other small handheld recording devices must be placed in silent mode, can only be used while seated, and can only be used in a manner that does not interfere with the ability other individuals to view or hear the proceedings. Individuals or groups failing to adhere to these rules will be subject to removal from the remainder of the meeting by the Sergeant at Arms. City of Chicago City Council Rules of Conduct for Public Meetings, 2023 to 2027. Pursuant to Rule 58 of the Chicago City Council Rules of Order and Procedure, the Sergeant at Arms sets forth the following rules of conduct for members of the public. These rules shall be in effect at all times that a viewing gallery or room is open for a meeting of the City Council or any of its committees. All individuals and their belongings are subject to search at entry or upon request. Individuals must remain seated at all times except 1. When entering or exiting the gallery. 2. When providing public comment during the portion of a meeting set aside for that purpose. Or 3. When asked to rise and be acknowledged by a member of the City Council. Profane, threatening, harassing, abusive, or defamatory behavior or speech, which in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the Sergeant at Arms may lead to a breach of the peace or disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting, is not permitted. Disruptive or distracting actions, such as the stomping of feet, waving of arms, throwing any item, whistling, booing, shouting, or other loud utterances, are not permitted when in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the Sergeant at Arms. Such actions are disrupting or impeding the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any item that poses a potential safety hazards, as determined by the Sergeant at Arms, is prohibited in the gallery. Such items include, but are not limited to, 1. Any pointed objects, including knives of any kind. 2. Banners, flyers, or other forms of signage. 3. Food and beverages, including in glass or metal canisters. 4. Backpacks, large bags, and sealed packages. Clear bags, not tinted in color, that do not exceed 12 inches by 6 inches by 12, are permitted and subject to search. And 5. Firearms, ammunition, fireworks, laser pointers, stun guns, tasers, mace, pepper spray, and toy weapons. Cell phones and other small handheld recording devices must be placed in silent mode, can only be used while seated, and can only be used in a manner that does not interfere with the ability other individuals to view or hear the proceedings. Individuals or groups failing to adhere to these rules will be subject to removal from the remainder of the meeting by the Sergeant at Arms. City of Chicago City Council Rules of Conduct for Public Meetings, 2023 to 2027.
Good morning, City Council. Good morning, City Council. The meeting will start momentarily. Can everyone please take their seats and silence their phones? The meeting will start momentarily. Can everyone please take their seats and silence their phones? Thank you.
For a meeting of the City Council or any of its committees, all individuals and their belongings are subject to search at entry or upon request. Individuals must remain seated at all times except 1. When entering or exiting the gallery. 2. When providing public comment during the portion of a meeting set aside for that purpose. Or 3. When asked to rise and be acknowledged by a member of the City Council. Profane, threatening, harassing, abusive, or defamatory behavior or speech, which in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the Sergeant at Arms may lead to a breach of the peace or disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting, is not permitted. Disruptive or distracting actions, such as the stomping of feet, waving of arms.
Hello. Good morning, City Council. Good morning, City Council. The meeting will start momentarily. Can everyone please take their seats and silence their phones? The meeting will start momentarily. Can everyone please take their seats and silence their phones? Thank you.
In the gallery. Such items include, but are not limited to, 1. Any pointed objects, including knives of any kind. 2. Banners, flyers, or other forms of signage. 3. Food and beverages, including in glass or metal canisters. 4. Backpacks, large bags, and sealed packages. Clear bags, not tinted in color, that do not exceed 12 inches by 6 inches by 12,
Good morning,
are permitted
members of the City
and subject to
Council.
search.
The meeting will begin shortly. Please remember to log into your devices for the December 19th meeting. Thank you.
Weapons. Cell phones and other small handheld recording devices must be placed in silent mode, can only be used while seated, and can only be used in a manner that does not interfere with the ability other individuals to view or hear the proceedings. Individuals or groups failing to adhere to these rules will be subject to removal from the remainder of the meeting by the Sergeant at Arms. City of Chicago City Council Rules of Conduct for Public Meetings, 2023 to 2027. Pursuant to Rule 58 of the Chicago City Council Rules of Order and Procedure, the Sergeant at Arms sets forth the following rules of conduct for members of the public. These rules shall be in effect at all times that a viewing gallery or room is open for a meeting of the City Council or any of its committees. All individuals and their belongings are subject to search at entry or upon request. Individuals must remain seated at all times except 1. When entering or exiting the gallery. 2. When providing public comment during the portion of a meeting set aside for that purpose. Or 3. When asked to rise and be acknowledged by a member of the City Council. Profane, threatening, harassing, abusive, or defamatory behavior or speech, which in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the sergeant at arms may lead to a breach of the peace or disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting is not permitted. Disruptive or distracting actions, such as the stomping of feet, waving of arms, throwing any item, whistling, booing, shouting, or other loud utterances, are not permitted when in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the sergeant at arms. Such actions are disrupting or impeding the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any item that poses a potential safety hazards, as determined by the sergeant at arms, is prohibited in the gallery. Such items include, but are not limited to, 1. Any pointed objects, including knives of any kind. 2. Banners, flyers, or other forms of signage. 3. Food and beverages, including in glass or metal canisters. 4. Backpacks, large bags, and sealed packages. Clear bags, not tinted in color, that do not exceed 12 inches by 6 inches by 12, are permitted and subject to search. And 5. Firearms, ammunition, fireworks, laser pointers, stun guns, tasers, mace pepper spray, and toy weapons. Cell phones and other small handheld recording devices must be placed in silent mode, can only be used while seated, and can only be used in a manner that does not interfere with the ability other individuals to view or hear the proceedings. Individuals or groups failing to adhere to these rules will be subject to removal from the remainder of the meeting by the sergeant at arms. City of Chicago City Council Rules of Conduct for Public Meetings, 2023 to 2027. Pursuant to Rule 58 of the Chicago City Council Rules of Order and Procedure, the Sergeant at Arms sets forth the following rules of conduct for members of the public. These rules shall be in effect at all times that a viewing gallery or room is open for a meeting of the City Council or any of its committees. All individuals and their belongings are subject to search at entry or upon request. Individuals must remain seated at all times except 1. When entering or exiting the gallery. 2. When providing public comment during the portion of a meeting set aside for that purpose. Or 3. When asked to rise and be acknowledged by a member of the City Council. Profane, threatening, harassing, abusive, or defamatory behavior or speech, which in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the sergeant at arms may lead to a breach of the peace or disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting, is not permitted. Disruptive or distracting actions, such as the stomping of feet, waving of arms, throwing any item, whistling, booing, shouting, or other loud utterances, are not permitted when in the judgment of the meeting's chair or the sergeant at arms. Such actions are disrupting or impeding the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any item that poses a potential safety hazards, as determined by the sergeant at arms, is prohibited in the gallery. Such items include, but are not limited to, 1. Any pointed objects, including knives of any kind. 2.
Council will come to order. Madam Clerk, please take a quorum roll call.
The voting is now open. The voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. I will now call on those that have not used the e-device. Alderman Laspada. Laspada is present. Alderman Robinson. Robinson is present. Alderman Yancey. Yancey is not present in chambers. Alderman Hall. Hall is not present in chambers. Alderwoman Harris. Not present.
Here.
Oh,
Here.
I'll come right back to you, Alderwoman.
Okay. Thank you.
Not present in chambers. Alderwoman Ramirez. Not present in chambers. Alderwoman Gutierrez, not present in chambers. Alderman Curtis. Curtis is present. Alderman O'Shea. O'Shea is present. Alderwoman Taylor, not present in chambers. Alderman Mosley, not present in chambers. Alderman Irvin, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Nugent. Nugent is present. Alderman Vasquez, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Clay, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Haddon, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Clay is present. Anyone else I missed, just walk in. Right, your mayor, we have a quorum.
Very well. Quorum has been established. 39 members that are present, 40 members that are present, 10 members are absent. Very well. So we do have a quorum. There are a number of members who have requested to participate in today's meeting remotely for reasons stated in Rule 59, and they are as following. Can we verify their presence online? Alders Harris, Ramirez, Haddon, Vasquez, Taylor, Gutierrez, and Irvin.
Alderwoman Haddon.
Present.
Alderwoman Haddon is present. Alderman, oh, not Robinson. Alderwoman Gutierrez.
Alderwoman Gutierrez present.
Alderwoman Taylor.
Here.
Alderwoman Ramirez.
Present.
Alderman Hopkins.
Present.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Alderwoman Harris.
Here.
Alderman Vasquez.
Present.
Alderman Irvin. Alderman Irvin. Okay, not present.
Can I get a motion to approve their remote participation? It's been moved. Thank you very much. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Madam Clerk, please add those members to the quorum roll call.
They're added.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the invocation, which will be delivered today by Noah Chung from Park Community Church in Hyde Park.
Join me in prayer. Gracious and merciful Father, we thank you for our civic leaders who are concerned with the welfare of our city. Father, we acknowledge that this has been a long, weary, and maybe even chaotic year. May you be near to every person in our city who are made in your image. Today, we lift up those entrusted with leading our great city. Grant them wisdom amid their competing demands. Grant them a hunger for justice and righteousness for all people. Grant them courage, soaked with humility, to do what is good and right no matter what others might say. Grant them the creativity to solve the many complex and systemic issues facing our cities. Grant them also the ability to work together with respect, even in disagreement. And last but not least, grant them and their families peace, joy, and rest after such a demanding year. We also pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give them discernment to pursue what would honor you and serve those who live and work in our beloved city. It's in Jesus' name, our Lord and Savior, we pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Public comments.
The council will now begin the public comment period, which is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Speakers cannot yield or transfer their time to another speaker. Any written comments that have been submitted will be posted and made available for automatic review. The first speaker this morning is Carl Gutierrez.
Still morning. Good morning. My name is Carl Gutierrez from the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, representing more than 1,000 members of all sizes and sectors across our city. The 2026 budget has been a hugely difficult process, putting our city in a place we've never been. Make no mistake, both budgets are hard on all of Chicago's businesses, but especially for our small and mid-sized companies. Chicago businesses across the board not only have more skin in the game, but by a margin of 4-1, starting with the hundreds of millions of dollars in the lease tax, but continuing with the doubling of the costs of business licenses, along with a myriad of other revenues in both budgets. And that's on top of new taxes from last year. Let me say it again, both budgets are hugely difficult. And yet, while both are hugely difficult, the alternative at least doesn't include a tax on jobs, makes more effort to address the savings and efficiencies identified by the Ernst & Young report, and makes the full advance payment to our city's pensions, lowering the threat of a credit downgrade, and helping better protect our city's financial future and our ability to invest in ourselves. Members of the City Council, you should never have been put in this position, but you stepped up, and in the face of aggressive, unwarranted, and disrespectful attacks on yourselves and your character, you proceeded with the unprecedented task of creating an alternative. Let me say it again for a third time, both budgets are hugely difficult for Chicago's businesses. Both budgets have business having more skin in the game by a margin of 4-1. But these budgets represent choices, and while the alternative looks to the future difficult as it is, the other chooses to build its house on sand. We are a good city and a great city, and we must choose better than that. We all have a lot more work ahead of us, but we look forward to working with all of you next year and in the years to come to build our city's future in a just and sustainable way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Michael K. Harris.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and honorable members of the Chicago City Council. I am Michael K. Harris, Jr., here on behalf of the Illinois Retail Merchants Association, representing retailers, grocery stores, pharmacies, and restaurants that operate in neighborhoods across Chicago. I want to begin by thanking members of this body who has taken the time to raise questions, raise concerns, and push for deeper understanding of the recent budget proposals. Your leadership matters, and I want you to know that you are not alone in recognizing the complexity of the decisions before you. Many retailers appreciate the diverse coalition of City Council members who have come together in an earnest effort, particularly those who recognize the real damage certain proposals would have inflicted on Chicago's reputation as a place to hire, invest, and grow. We share the same goal, a healthy, thriving Chicago. A Chicago where residents have access to jobs, food, medicine, and essential services in their own communities. While some elements represent an improvement from earlier proposals, job creators remain deeply concerned that businesses are once again being asked to shoulder a disproportionate share of the financial burden, on top of already significant pressures. We appreciate the many members of this council who understand that economic health and equity are not inseparable. Policies that unintentionally drive employers out of neighborhoods ultimately hurt the very residents we all aim to support. It is long past time for the city to acknowledge the cycle of continually increasing taxes and spending is unsustainable and risks undermining Chicago's long-term economic viability. So today, we want to thank you for standing up for your communities, for recognizing the real-world impacts of these proposals, and for engaging in this process thoughtfully. We look forward to continue to work with you to advance solutions that strengthen Chicago's economy without undermining the businesses and workers that keep our communities alive. Thank you for your time and your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Lynetta Thomas.
Hello, I'm Lynetta Thomas, an independent voter on the far south side by way of the 9th Ward. I have an update for you guys. General Counsel, take this down. 125 CV 15377. Judge LaShonda A. Hunt in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, Lynetta Thomas, plaintiff, City of Chicago, Lincoln Hayes in his individual and official capacity as City Council Sergeant of Arms, Alderman Jesse Fuentes in her individual and official capacity, defendants. Okay, I have a warning for the teachers that have their pensions tied into CTU. If you legally can find an IUL or whatever AC Green talks about on WVON, because again, there was a teacher named Sandra Taylor, veteran teacher of over 19 years, who passed in 2024. She left her pension to her 8-year-old grandson. CTU refused to pay it because he wasn't her biological child. So what happens to her money? It's theft, plain and simple. Her daughter is her only living heir. Did they give it to her? No. Why don't they release that pension money to her daughter, Vicki Willis, another veteran CTU teacher? I don't know. Are they going to use that pension money to fund that $4 million being allocated for the 26 and 27 elections? And lastly, CPS has asked him for money, but we have cases like Angel Thomas versus the City of Chicago, District 299, Illinois State Board of Education case number 2026 DP 0113, my daughter, being denied free and appropriate public education and least restrictive placement, a violation of the IDEA laws. I'm just saying, one of the line items on my tax bill in this budget is Chicago Board of Education. But my child can't receive fair services with taxpayer money, but we push it real hard for English language learning services. Does the Black Student Success Plan only apply to students in public schools? Black Catholic schools, special education students aren't qualified for success because they openly pray to the Lord every day in school. And again, independent audit, the city, CPS, and CTU.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Danielle Carter.
Let me get my 40 seconds. Independent audit, CPS, the city, and CTU. Independent audit, CPS, CTU, and CPS. Independent audit, the city, CPS, and CTU. Independent audit, the city, CPS, and CTU. Independent audit, the city, the CPS, and CTU. Independent audit, CPS, the city, and CTU. Independent audit, CPS, CTU, and the city. Independent audit, the city, CPS, and CTU. Independent audit, the city, CPS, and CTU. Independent audit, the city.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Danielle Carter.
So Jesse Fuentes, you like calling Black Americans the N-word on the 5th floor, and nobody is checking that, right? You thought we wasn't gonna find out about that, Jesse? Yeah, yup, multiple times. Okay, but So, we want to talk about this budget, this alternate budget. This alternate budget is still no good for the tax-paying citizens. When I look in this budget, all it's doing is slow killing us. Okay, nickel and diming us with taxes. This is what I found in this alternate budget. When it comes down to business licenses, we are going to be paying, instead of $250, we'll be paying, what you say, $500. And if you all who have driveways, houses, that's going to be going up. They're going to charge you more for your driveways. They're 15-cent bag tax, things like streaming tax. All these taxes, you got to look into this alternate budget. It's going to be taxing us. But they're not addressing these raises that his administration is getting, which is the biggest one, the $58,000 raise that's going to Michael McMurray, the Commissioner of Aviation. Do you all want to address that? You all want to address the $3,000 to $4,000 that these aldermen will be getting. You all, except two, you all will not address that $220 million that we found for under the special event, that line that somehow made it to 2026 that says new arrivals. We know you all still paying for these illegal aliens, but yet and still, when we go to Cook County, they say it's your fault. Yet Tony Prattwinkle, she's able, $1 million Tony Prattwinkle, while our taxes is going up, she was able to right now buy $1 million home. Yeah, so now, but you all failed to address what's really killing us, property taxes. I haven't heard not one of you all mention that in here, but you want to talk about everything else except for the property taxes. This is, Anthony Beale said last year when you all were spending that money on illegal aliens and voting for illegal aliens, he said, you all know that they're going to pay for it. It's going to show up in those property taxes. And you all act like we didn't hear that. We're going to bring that back to everybody's remembrance because we know it's a reflection of what you all paid for illegal aliens. What's going on in Chicago, we allow people who don't come from Chicago to run Chicago. We allow people that just from Elgin, Mayor Stacey Davis Gates, that's from Indiana. We allow people like that to come in here and run Chicago, but the natives that's born and raised here, we will not step up and get into office because we know this city. We love this city. We know the culture.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker this morning is Sherry Herdick. Our next speaker is Sherry Herdick. Our next speaker is Sandy Norman.
Praise the Lord, everyone in the council. I honor you, Mayor Johnson, and all the council and all of the organizations that are represented here. And I want to reiterate, it's definitely a blessing to see more African Americans that are here representing our communities and speaking up. I do want to say, as I was here on yesterday, I'm the founder of Life Beyond Limit, Inc., Chain Breakers Outreach Violence Intervention Response Team. I do want to say I don't just come in here talking, but I'm actually doing the work. And so we'll be on the streets of Chicago. Tonight we'll be in East Garfield. We'll also be in Lawndale, and we're responding to the people. I do want to say, Mayor Johnson, you were a commissioner before you became mayor. So you know about taxes, you know about all on the federal level, everything that's going to take place before it happens. I want to say that when I'm in the community, we feed between 500 to 1,000 people a month, and I do this out of my own pocket. And so I'm also advocating, again, because there are people like me that are not a part of the system, that are not a part of the select groups that get all of this funding. And so again, my parents taught me that you don't come ask for a handout. You demonstrate the work, and then you present yourself. And this is why I'm here. I'm in the neighborhoods, and so I'm feeding the community. And so I see the people that are hungry. They cannot pay their taxes. A lot of the communities that we're representing, the people are in need. When Solomon got in, he asked the Lord, not for money and fame. He said, God, give me wisdom on how I may lead the people. So let's not forget that all of us that are here for a purpose. But those of you that are in this council, you are in position and you make those 6 figures because of the people. And without the people, you would not be in position. So let's not forget the people, because everybody does not make 6 figures. The Bible says the poor will always be among us. And it's our responsibility to not neglect the poor. And so again, I'm speaking from a perspective of being in the community, being with the people, and I'll be there again on tonight. And so again, with these taxes, you know, people being displaced out of their homes. And as I reiterated, I'm a product of the Ida B. Wells housing projects. And so I know what it's like when you are a single family income and you have developers that come in and displace everybody out of the neighborhoods. And it's always really us in the black communities that are always left behind. So I'm here, you know, petitioning you. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget, you know, your struggles, because again, it's about the people. And I know that a lot of people think that a lot of times you get these positions that you're not going to have to give an account, but there's a God that everybody in here, you're going to have to answer to.
Thank you very much for your comments. However, your time has expired. Our next speaker is Sophia James. Our next speaker is Sophia James.
I'm Sophia, founder and cultural architect of Black Girl Fire. I am here today to point out the hypocrisy. Chicago's mayor office for people with disability is attempting to brand Chicago as the most accessible city in the world. Yet Access Living filed a 2018 class action lawsuit for disability housing discrimination. It has been reported that Chicago has spent an estimate of $4.1 million defending itself against this lawsuit. In 2024, a federal judge ruled that Chicago isn't above the law. Chicago must abide by the ADA, Americans with Disability Act, and the Fair Housing Act. Now, we must acknowledge that the ADA is only 36 years old. I, a 21-year traumatic brain injury survivor. At the age of 13, I was in a life-threatening car accident. Doctors said I was going to die if I didn't make it through the night, or I would be paralyzed from the neck down. I stand before you today not flatline, but as a founder and as an individual who had to file multiple disability housing discrimination complaints with HUD and the Illinois Commission for Human Relations that was ultimately left unresponsive or dismissed, which led to me to becoming homeless. Chicago only manages homelessness. It doesn't reduce it. Black Girl Fire is building a neuro-inclusive housing and tech ecosystem, filling gaps no one else is addressing. And yes, in that order, and thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Zoe Lee. Our next speaker is Zoe Lee. Our next speaker is Dominic Capayas.
As you know, it's a homeless issue here, but you don't care, even though you created a job for Cindy Soto as the homeless chief operator. David Moore, you're the reason why all this is how it is. You made sure that you sold my family out for that TIF money, 7954, 7958 South Halsted, Sandpiper Lounge. And instead of working with my mom, with doing her affordable housing, you and Father Flager decide to get that save a lot on my other part of my godfather's lots and then knock down the Sandpiper Lounge. If you would have worked with my godfather and my mother, Chicago Fifth Red would have never been here. You have constantly ignored me. I've been down here for 2 years. 2 years, I'm watching y'all launder TIF money, just like he just laundered some TIF money to Kenwood. 13.59 million into Kenwood Academy, then 910,000 into Kenwood Academy. They just got it December 11th of this year. Then you want 559 million of TIF money to go to CPS if the budget passed. But I can't get no TIF money so I can build my building back up that y'all knocked down. I can't get you to settle my case that's over there. Is it because my mother sued for $3 billion? She sued for $3 billion because she was tired of y'all. But we can talk it down. We know we deserve $3 billion, but Angela Rye got the number. Angela Rye has the number because Angela Rye is trying to help. So I hope that she relayed the number so we can get this case settled so I can go on and do what I need to do. I'm paying for 2 storages, one in Atlanta and my mom's storage here. My mom's 76, sleeping on a floor. Sleeping on a couch. I'm sleeping on an air mattress. You know, it's Christmas coming. He to blame. You giving him a field house. That TIF money could go to me. For a vote? It's a loser. He's been a loser. A loser when he was at CHA. He lost terribly for the Illinois Secretary of State. He just knows something that's to keep him in this seat. But he's a loser. And you a narcissist. But guess what? I have narcissist ways. So you could take it there, I'm going to take it to hell. Chicago flips red.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Dominic Capayas.
Good morning, everyone. Mayor, Alders. My name is Dominic Capayas, General Manager of Smoke Station, and it is a pleasure to address you all today. Twice now, you've heard me speak against the Quinn hemp ban. Today, I'd like to speak in favor of something. Mayor Brandon Johnson's plan to tax and regulate hemp. The plan calls for a $2 per item tax on hemp products, testing standards, and 21 and over establishment restrictions. Generally speaking, I find all this very reasonable, and I do not see how it could have any significant negative impact on my business. To add, it has been said that hemp is unregulated and that hemp products, hemp stores are shady. But our business has made third-party lab testing a condition of doing business with any and all of our hemp retailers, and we've done this since day one. And today, third-party lab testing and common food labeling standards are standard industry practice, including nutrition labels, allergy information, ingredient lists, specifically THC and other cannabinoids, a QR code to the lab report for that product, and manufacturer address and contact information. All sounds pretty well regulated to me. The allegation is that the hemp industry is unregulated, which means no legal body compelled us to adopt these regulations, these standards. We adopted these standards and practices to provide voluntarily a trustable and safe product for our customers. And furthermore, I would favor any reasonable hemp taxation which invests the revenue into our daycare and early childhood programs, our public schools, teen substance abuse, especially teen alcohol abuse, homelessness. I have homeless people in Logan Square every single day, and childhood teen mental health programs, all of which are presently woefully underfunded. I'll close by paraphrasing the December 10th joint statement from the 33rd and 25th Ward Alders. Bans do not eliminate products or demand, but push demand into unsafe and unregulated markets. The very markets the Quinn hemp ban claims to want to eliminate. A ban will only put hundreds of people, hundreds of jobs out right before Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Rockro Garcia.
Buenas tardes, members of the City Council. My name is Rocio Garcia, and I'm with the Grassroots Collaborative and the People's Unity Platform. The decisions that you make in this room have real consequences for real people, people who are already doing everything we can just to survive. Working families in our city are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for fairness. They're asking not to be punished for being poor. I am grateful for the hundreds of volunteers making thousands of daily calls into your wards from people who have never called your ward before. They've been calling with the pleads to hopefully add just enough pressure and remind you to do the right thing this budget cycle. I am also grateful that those pleads have not fallen on deaf ears. Because of that organizing, we've seen aldermen concede more and more of the harmful and unpopular aspects of the alternative budget. You all made sure that there was no large property tax. You agreed to add youth jobs back and listened to our residents imploring you to get rid of garbage fees. However, now you want aggressive debt collection of poor and working class Chicagoans while still letting corporations off the hook, which simply cannot be how we fund our city. We can't afford it. What the alternative budget presents is punishment as revenue strategy and poverty as a business model. We know exactly who pays the price for this approach: working families, seniors on fixed incomes, and Black and brown communities that have been targeted for decades. Working families are already carrying too much. They're working hard, playing by the rules, and still struggling to keep up. When the city turns to aggressive debt collection, it doesn't solve a problem, it creates one. Aggressive debt collection is not collecting accountability, it creates a problem, and it's collecting pain. It turns minor debts into major crises. It drains money meant for rent, food, and childcare, and it sends a clear message: if you fall behind, the city will kick you while you're down. We've seen this kind of decisions before. In Chicago, selling the parking meters was the daily presented as practical. The selling the Skyway was responsible. Past councils were told it would help the budget, that it was a smart financial move, and now, years later, Chicagoans are still paying the price every day, every time we park, every time we drive. Those deals haunt people because they locked in harm and called it policy. Debt collection is the same. It may look good on balance sheets today, but it will haunt working families tomorrow. Please do not repeat the mistakes of past city council members. I'm also here to ask you to support essential police accountability measure, because like those bad deals, the cost of inaction is paid by the public over and over again. Accountability is not anti-police. It is pro-trust. It is pro-safety. It is all about making sure power is exercised with care, transparency, and respect. Without accountability, trust erodes. Please do the right thing, not just for today, but for the years to come.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Sherry Hurdick.
Hands up. My name is Sharia Moore Hendricks, and I've been robbed, and I'm here to report a crime. Every day, I thought the American dream, the black dream, black woman with a black child, Mr. Johnson, with a black baby on the south side of Chicago. I've been robbed in my own home. This budget don't say nothing for me. It doesn't speak for me, and you can't speak for me. I didn't come down here with no trouble, Alderman Moore, but I want to put you on notice too, because I'm not smiling no more. I'm down here because I stayed on the phone all day long yesterday trying to get my escrow back up so I could pay your taxes, yours over there, and don't forget over there in that little nook over there. And I want you to know it's hard out here, and it's people that's hurting. I don't have a script. I don't have my phone before me because I'm running for the bill collector. The aldermen that I have in my community, I want to be able to sit down with you. I want to be able to get to your door and sit down and talk about my problems and my ward. And Alderman Mosley, wherever you are, thank you for sitting down with me. I thank you, but that assessor and that board of review, all that was for the picture. But I'm here for the taking, Mr. Johnson. I'm not against you, but I want you to know I'm hurting. I'm trying to hold on to my home, my new home, 2 doors down from my childhood home. But it's unfortunate, I see people that don't look like me in my skin. I see those illegals that's not down here and asking for help. They not down here begging you and pretty pleasing you. It's no disrespect to P. Ray, but my thing is I'm not begging you. I'm not pretty pleading you. I'm asking you all to either you do what you're supposed to do and do your fair share, helping your black people, helping all people. But make sure you know where that money is coming, going to, and coming from. I'm not against being compassionate and being fair with others, but my thing is where the diversity lies. When you got some over here making it, some over here faking it, some over here don't know which way to go. So hands up, and I'm here to report a crime because I've been ripped off. Those taxes, that's unbelievable. And what your budget says is the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep on getting poor. And like Zoe said, give us a forensic audit and get the job done.
Thank you very much for your comments. Your Honor, there are no further speakers who have timely signed up for the public comment period.
Very well. Thank you. That concludes our public comment period. Alderman Mosley wishes to participate for reasons stated in Rule 59. Madam Clerk, could you confirm Alderman Mosley's presence online?
Alderman Mosley, are you there?
Present.
Very well. Can I get a motion for the approval of Alderman Mosley to participate in today's meeting remotely? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Could you please add Alderman Mosley to the quorum roll call? Chair recognizes Alderman Yancey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to be added to the roll call.
Very well. The chair recognizes Alderman Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would also like to be added to the quorum roll call.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Could you please add Alderman Yancey and Irvin to the quorum roll call? For resolutions, we do not have any. The chair recognizes Alderman David Moore.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if it pleases the body, I would like to suspend the rules for a minute to just recognize and give a moment of silence to the passing of our District 7 Division Superintendent, Chris.
Very well. If there are no objections, motion to suspend the rules granted, please.
And just, if we can just stand in silence, just to remember Chris Manuel, who passed last night, served as the Division Superintendent in District 7, serving many of the wards on the south side of Chicago.
A moment of silence, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Motion to return back to the regular order of business. It's been moved. Thank you. Now for the regular order of business, the next up is communications.
A communication from His Honor the Mayor to the Honorable the City Council of the City of Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby transmit a revenue ordinance for the 2026 budget recommendation amending various sections of the Municipal Code of Chicago. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance is appreciated. Yours truly, signed Mayor, referred to the Committee on Finance. 2 committees called. We'll go to rolls. I, City Clerk Anna Valencia, hereby inform the City Council that the following document was filed in my office, Office of Inspector General's report on Chicago Police Department's response to hate crimes and hate incidents. I, City Clerk Valencia, also inform the City Council that all those matters which were considered by the City Council at the regular meeting held on December 10, 2025, which were required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form or in one or more newspapers were published in pamphlet form on December 18, 2025 by being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of the Journal Proceedings of the City Council, City of Chicago. I, City Clerk Valencia, also inform the City Council that the actions conducted by the City Council at the regular meeting held on December 15th, 2025, which were required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form or in one or more newspapers were published in pamphlet form on December 18, 2025, being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of the Journal Proceedings of the City Council of the City of Chicago. I, City Clerk Valencia, also informed the City Council that all those matters which were considered by the City Council at the regular meeting held on December 16, 2025, which are required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form in one or more newspapers, were published in pamphlet form on December 18, 2025, by being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of journal proceedings of the City Council of the City of Chicago. Your Honor, that concludes the reports and communications from the Mayor and other city officers.
Very well. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next up for committee reports, we'll start with the Budget Committee. The Chair recognizes Chairman Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reporting for the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations, which held a committee meeting on December 17, 2025. The committee has a series of report recommending passage of the following items. Beginning with items 8 through 26, a series of 19 transfer funds within wards 1, 14, 21, 22, 33, 34, 36, 39, 40, 41, 46, and 2 for the Committee on Committees and Rules, 2 for the Committee on Education, Committee on Housing and Real Estate, the Legislative Reference Bureau expense account, and 2 for the Committee on Licensing and Consumer Protection, all for year 2025. I move passage of these items by a roll call vote.
Very well. There's a motion on the floor for the passage of these items by a roll call vote. Members, please use your e-vote application once it becomes available at this time.
The voting is now open. The voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. It is. It's for all of them, yes. I will now call on those that have not used their e-device and those remotely. Alderman Hopkins. Hopkins is not present in chambers. Alderman Robinson. Yes. Robinson is a yes. Alderwoman Harris.
Yes.
Harris is a yes. Alderwoman Ramirez.
Yes.
Ramirez is a yes. Alderwoman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Gutierrez is a yes. Alderwoman Taylor.
Yes.
Taylor is a yes. Alderman Mosley.
Yes.
Mosley is a yes. Alderman Ticho Lopez. I'm sorry. Ticho Lopez is a yes. Alderperson Fuentes. Fuentes is a yes. Alderwoman Rodriguez Sanchez. Alderman Hopkins. Hopkins is a yes. Alderman Vasquez.
Alderman Vasquez is a yes.
Vasquez is a yes. Alderwoman Haddon.
Yes.
Haddon is a yes. Has everyone voted who wished? Fuentes is a yes. All right, voting is now closed. Vasquez and Haddon are yeses. So that's 49. Right? Yeah, 49-0. Yes, they're both yeses. The voting is now closed. 49.
Very well. Thank you. There are 49 yeas and 0 nays. This motion passes. Alderman Mitchell on a motion to reconsider.
Mr. President, move to reconsider the vote.
All those in favor of the reconsideration of this vote signify by saying aye. Any opposed say nay. This motion fails. Chair recognizes Chairman Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Along with Chairman Dow, I'll defer and publish the following 7 items. Item number 1 is a substitute communication recommending a proposed ordinance concerning an amendment of Municipal Code Titles 2 and 9 regarding technical and scrivener's errors, the 2026 Municipal Code Corrections Ordinance. Item 2 is a communication recommending a series of proposed corrections and revisions to the 2026 budget recommendations and text as amended. Item 3 is a communication recommending adoption of the annual appropriation ordinance for 2026. Item 4 is a substitute communication recommending amendment of Municipal Code Titles 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14A, 15, 17 regarding management, structure, powers, and functions of various departments and agencies, the 2026 Municipal Code Management Ordinance. Item 5 is a communication recommending expenditure of portion of motor fuel tax funds allocated to the City of Chicago for year 2026. Item number 6 is a communication recommending an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Transit Authority and Cook County for the allocation of motor fuel tax funds for year 2026. And item number 7 is a communication recommending an amendment of regulations governing administration of classification and employee of benefits for classification positions set forth in the annual appropriation ordinance, the salary resolution.
Very well. Thank you. Sergeant at Arms, please ensure that we can keep some decorum in the chambers, please.
Yeah.
Alderwoman Dowd, confirm, defer and publish. Thank you. Those items will be deferred and published. Anything else, Chairman?
That's all, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Very
All
well.
present.
Alderman Will Hall has requested to participate in today's meeting remotely for reasons stated in Rule 59. Madam Clerk, could you please confirm his attendance online?
Alderman Hall, are you there?
Present.
Very
Alderman
well.
Hall is-
Can I get a
Hall is
motion
present.
for the approval of, it's been moved. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed say nay. This motion passes. Please add Alderman Hall to the quorum roll call. Alderman Hall, do you wish to be added to the most favorable roll call vote in the Budget Committee in the subsequent unsuccessful vote to reconsider?
Yes.
All right, please add Alderman Hall to the most favorable roll call in the budget vote and the unsuccessful motion to reconsider. For the agreed upon calendar, Alderwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have received from the city clerk, Anna M. Valencia, a total of 17 proposed items for the agreed calendar, consisting of congratulatory, commemorative, and tributary resolutions from the following alderperson: Alderman Clay in the 46th Ward. I move passage of the agreed calendar in the omnibus.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. For new business, the clerk will read the wards, beginning with the 50th.
Zoning amendments which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Traffic regulations, traffic control signals, and traffic signs which are referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Exemption from physical barrier requirements for commercial driveway alley access to parking facilities which are referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderperson Manaha Hoppenworth has proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code, Section 4-60-023, to allow additional package goods licenses on portion of North Sheridan Road, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderperson Mitz has proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 37th Ward wage allowance account to the expense account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderpersons Fuentes and O'Shea have a proposed ordinance for a Springfield revenue resolution regarding personal property replacement tax, which is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderperson Lopez has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 15th Ward wage allowance account to the automatic expense account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Lopez also has proposed ordinance for amendment of the Municipal Code, Chapters 3-42, 3-47, and 3-49 regarding taxation of tobacco products and tobacco mitigation fund, which is referred to the Committee on Finance. Your Honor, that concludes the presentation of aldermanic introductions.
All right, for the approval of the journal, the chair recognizes Alderman Mitchell.
Mr. President, I am not aware of any corrections to the journals from the December 10th, December 15th, and December 16th meetings, and move that they be approved.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. For unfinished business, Alderman Mitchell.
I'm aware of one piece of unfinished business. It was filed by Alderman Nugent, and I defer to her.
Very well, the chair recognizes Alderwoman Nugent.
Thank you, Mr. President. I defer to Chair Dial to speak to this matter, and then I move do pass.
Very well. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I move to consider various items of unfinished business which were noticed and filed with the clerk pursuant to Rule 41, pertinent to consideration and passage of the 2026 revenue ordinances. They are as follows. Item number 1, the substitute 2026 Municipal Code Revenue Ordinance Alternative. Item number 2, the 2026 through 2027 General Obligation Borrowing Ordinance. Item number 3, the General Obligation and STSC, or the Sales Tax Securitization Corporation Bond Refunding Ordinance.
Are those all the items?
Yes.
Very well, and the motion is on the floor for a due pass.
Mr. President, I ask at this time that the council discuss the 3 matters I've identified simultaneously. I reserve the right to close the discussion.
Very well, the chair recognizes Alderman Conway.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise on item 2, the city's general obligation bonds number. I opposed this ordinance in committee and opposed it again today, not because I don't recognize the city has real obligations, but because this authorization is far broader than what is necessary or responsible. And going forward, we need to do more on oversight and debt authorization in the future. Now, in committee, I proposed a narrow $500 million authorization that would have covered firefighter back pay and lawsuit settlements alone, the items that we actually need to do to balance this budget. Instead, today, we are authorizing $1.8 billion, nearly 1,800 million in new general obligation debt. And the contrast is striking. We spent 4 hours, over 4 hours, debating $80 million of taxes, a relative pittance relative to the minutes we spent debating nearly $2 billion of long-term borrowing. Well, let's take a step back. As most of you know, or all you know, Chicago already has about $40 billion of unfunded pension liability, $25 billion of outstanding debt. Our credit rating's approaching junk. The rating agencies have warned us clearly. For us, borrowing is expensive. And every additional dollar of debt we take out today, those are interest costs. It's going to crowd out future spending on the basics, like public safety, like parks, and like potholes. Now, I recognize I'm going to lose this vote today, so my goal is to merely ask for better discipline and oversight and authorization on borrowing going forward. Now, according to the city's own 2025 to 2029 capital improvement plan, the total capital needs between now and 2029 are going to be $3.9 billion in general obligation debt. It's on page 2 of that document, so you don't have to go very far to read it. After today's vote, here at the end of the year of our Lord 2025, the first year of this, we will have $3.8 billion in unused general obligation capital authorization, plus another $1.1 billion in unused housing bond authority. Now, yesterday, I tweeted out with this extra borrowing, the mayor could, in theory, choose to borrow the money and build a new Bears stadium. Now, the mayor's office called me disingenuous, which I suppose is being better than called a liar like the perennial Pinocchios of our chamber, Alders, Mitz, and Knudsen. But nonetheless, you will note on the first page of this document, the ordinance, numbers 5 and number 7. Number 5 allows the mayor to acquire property within the city. Number 7 allows municipal facilities to be constructed, much like a Park District-owned Soldier Field. Now, for what it's worth, I highly doubt you will use it for that purpose. Did you take my notes? No, never mind. What? Excuse me. I'm sorry. I put my own thing up on the thing. For what it's worth, I highly doubt you use it for that purpose, but there's nothing to stop you, and that's the point. And my request here is really simple as we look ahead. For the sake of our children and probably our grandchildren, if we're going to borrow in the future, especially general obligation debt, let's do it narrowly, let's do it transparently, and let's do it with some real oversight, because I promise you, frankly, the future of our city depends on it. On this busy day, I appreciate all of your indulgence in hearing me out. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Very well. Seeing no other hands, the chair recognizes Alderwoman Dow. Oh, I see another hand now. The chair recognizes Alderman Moore.
Thank you. And I guess we're taking up items 2, 3, and 4, am I correct? Together. And so one of the questions that I asked in committee was the other day in regards to gaming was about the sweepstakes machine operators, many who are in our communities right now, and some in the bars. And it was confirmed to me by the CFO that the Illinois Gaming Board's current stance that they were not awarded VGT license to sweepstakes machine operators. And so I'm just going back to what I stated earlier. I wish we had time to work this out. Again, I appreciate what my colleagues have done, but I cannot be in a position where we are not, from an equity standpoint, making sure that there's equity in VGT. And so with that said, I just wanted to bring that to note. I thank the CFO for getting that question answered for me because they wasn't sure. I had heard it from someone else and it came up. So I appreciate that. And I just wanted to make my colleagues aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Alderman Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a point of personal privilege. I would like for Alderman Conway to explain the reference of Pinocchio related to Alderman Mitz. I'm a little taken aback by that, so just please help me to understand that.
Very well. Just a second. The chair recognizes Alderman Conway.
Thank you. I noticed a lot of you weren't paying attention, so I tried to inject a little wake you up, and I'm fortunate I did that with Chairman Irvin. You may have heard the mayor yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong, called Alderwoman Mitz a liar on WBEZ yesterday. Last week called Alderman Knudsen a liar. I was merely called disingenuous, so I was tongue-in-cheek in that terminology. Certainly I wasn't repeating it. Thank you.
Oh. Are there any other hands? Very well. Now that our nursery rhyme section of our meeting is over, the chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't want to say very much. I just want to put a fine point on the moment that we're in today. As you know, the city of Chicago's financial position is at a critical juncture, and I think we have emerged today with a budget plan that protects programs which are vital to those most in need while setting us on the right path towards a stronger fiscal future. I just wanted to thank my colleagues who dedicated hundreds of hours and time to put forth a financially responsible revenue ordinance that does not sacrifice economic growth or place a burden on our most vulnerable citizens to close this $1.2 billion gap that we have. And I ask my colleagues to support the substitute revenue ordinance with a vote of yes. Thank you, Mr. President. I call for a roll call vote.
Very well. Members of City Council, please use your e-vote application to record your vote at this time.
Which item? President, I just needed.
Are you referring to all items at the same time?
Yes. No, I'm taking them all individually.
All right, so which
I
item,
move to concur in the recommendation of the Committee on Finance and adopt the substitute ordinance introduced by Alderman Matt O'Shea and others, amending titles 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14A, 14B, 14X, and 15 of the Municipal Code, the 2026 Municipal Code Revenue Ordinance Alternative, which was ordered to be deferred and published and appears in the Journal of Proceedings of December 18, 2025 as S02025-002-1719 by a roll call vote.
Very well, thank you. Members, please use your e-vote application at this time.
The voting is now open. The voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. I will now call on those that have not used the e-device. Alderman Hall. Alderman
No.
Hall. No? Can you repeat, please?
No.
Alderman Hall is a no. Alderwoman Harris.
Yes.
Harris is a yes. Alderwoman Ramirez.
No.
Ramirez is a no. Alderwoman Gutierrez. Alderwoman Gutierrez.
Gutierrez is a no.
Gutierrez is a no. Alderwoman Coleman. Alderwoman Coleman. Alderwoman Taylor.
No.
Taylor is a no. Alderman Vasquez. Alderman Vasquez. Alderwoman Haddon.
No.
Haddon is a no. I'm going to go back real quick to Alderman Vasquez. And Alderwoman Coleman is not on the floor. Okay? Hold on to get Haddon. Okay. Voting is now closed.
Very well, there are 29 yeas, 19 nays. This motion passes. On the motion to reconsider, Alderman Mitchell.
As I move to reconsider the vote.
All those in favor of the reconsideration of this vote signify by saying aye. Any opposed say nay. This motion fails. On your next item, Madam Chair.
President, I move to concur in the recommendation of the Committee on Finance and adopt the ordinance regarding the issuance of city general obligation bonds, the 2026 through 2027 general obligation borrowing ordinance, which was ordered to be deferred and published and appears in the Journal of Proceedings of December 18, 2025 as 02025-00211097 by the same roll call vote as was applied to the substitute 2026 Municipal Code Revenue Ordinance alternative and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
The Chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. President. In accordance with Rule 59, I wish to allow Alderman Stephanie Coleman to participate remotely.
All right. There's a motion on the floor for Alderwoman Stephanie Coleman to participate in today's meeting remotely for reasons stated in Rule 59. Madam Clerk, could you confirm Alderwoman Coleman's presence on the line?
Alderwoman Coleman, are you there? Alderwoman Coleman, you there?
All right, we'll give it another try later. There's a motion on the floor for the passage of the next item with the same roll call vote. The chair recognizes Alderman Conway. All right, well, there's a roll call vote on the floor.
Okay.
Very well.
Yeah, that's right. Correct. This is the general obligation. Voting is now open. Voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. I will now call on those who have not used the e-device. Alderman Hopkins. Okay. Alderman Hall.
Yes.
Hall is a yes. Alderwoman Harris.
Yes.
Harris is a yes. Alderwoman Ramirez.
Yes.
Ramirez is a yes. Alderwoman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Gutierrez is a yes. Alderwoman Coleman. I'll come back. I don't know if she's on yet. Alderman Curtis. Curtis is a yes. Alderman O'Shea. O'Shea is a yes. Alderwoman Taylor.
No.
Taylor's a no. Alderwoman Rodriguez, okay, she's in. Alderman Vasquez.
No.
Vasquez is a no. Alderwoman Mana Hoppenworth. Alderwoman Mana Hoppenworth is a no. Alderwoman Haddon.
No.
Haddon is a no. Alderwoman Coleman.
Yes.
Coleman is a yes. Coleman. The voting is now closed.
Madam Clerk, the motion was made for Alderwoman Stephanie Coleman to participate in today's meeting remotely for reasons stated in Rule 59. You checked to verify she wasn't there. She is there now. Just want to make sure on the motion to allow for the participation of Stephanie Alderwoman Coleman remotely for reasons stated in Rule 59. That motion has been made. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed say nay. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. What was that final vote?
39-11.
There are 39 yeas, 11 nays. This motion passes. Alderman Mitchell on the motion to reconsider.
Move to reconsider the vote.
Those in favor of the reconsideration of this vote signify by saying aye. Those that oppose say nay. This motion fails. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to concur in the recommendation of the Committee on Finance and adopt the ordinance regarding the issuance of city general obligation bonds and/or sales tax securitization corporation sales tax revenue bonds for refunding outstanding general obligation bonds and/or sales tax revenue bonds, which was ordered to be deferred and published and appears in the Journal of Proceedings of December 18, 2025, as 02025-0021096. I ask for a roll call vote on this matter as well.
Very well. On this final motion on the floor, there's a roll call request for this vote. As the preparation takes place by the clerk, members of City Council, you will be able to use your e-vote application to record your vote.
All right, the voting is now open. The voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. All right, I will now call on those not using e-device. Alderman Hall.
Alderman Hall is a yes.
Hall is a yes. Alderwoman Harris.
Yes.
Harris is a yes. Alderwoman Ramirez.
Yes.
Ramirez is a yes. Alderwoman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Gutierrez is a yes. Alderwoman Coleman.
Yes.
Coleman is a yes. Alderwoman Taylor.
Yes.
Taylor is a yes. Alderman Vasquez.
Yes.
Vasquez is a yes. Alderwoman Haddon.
Yes.
Haddon is a yes. The voting is now closed. 50-0.
There are 50 yeas, 0 nays. This motion passes. Alderman Mitchell on the motion to reconsider.
Motion to reconsider the
All
vote.
those in favor of the reconsideration of this vote signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. This motion fails. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. This concludes unfinished business.
Thank you very much. Alderman Mitchell, any other unfinished business?
I'm not aware any more unfinished business.
Very well. For miscellaneous business, Alderman Mitchell.
I'm not aware any miscellaneous business.
All right, for the date and time of the next meeting, it has been previously been set by ordinance, and for the omnibus, Alderman Mitchell. Yes, the chair recognizes Alderman Moore for a point of order.
Thank you. And we said that last time, and all of us still thought it was at 10 somehow. What, is it 10 tomorrow or 11?
Madam Clerk, can you verify the start time for tomorrow?
10 a.m.
It is for 10 a.m. Thank you for the point of order. Yes, sir. And for the yes, the chair recognizes Alderwoman Silverstein.
I just, thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to be on the record that my reason for not being present tomorrow is that I will be observing the Jewish Sabbath.
Very well. Thank you very much. For the omnibus, Alderman Mitchell.
I move that matters in the omnibus be passed by the first most favorable roll call vote by the Committee on Budget and Government Operations and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
There's a hand. The chair recognizes Alderman Vasquez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to know for the record, I know the vote is already passed, but we had technical difficulties on this end. Just wanted to be, for the record, I know it doesn't count as a vote, a no on the revenue ordinance. That was all. Thank you.
All right. Technical difficulties, and just wanted to be noted that if the technical difficulties were not in place, he would have been a no. Did I hear that correctly? Thank you. The clerk will have that in our record. Very well. Now for, we did the omnibus. So now for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Mitchell.
President, there being no further business before the body.
Did we do that? I'm sorry, I did not officially say my line. Very well. Hearing no objections, so ordered. Now for the adjournment, Alderman Mitchell.
There being no further business before this body, I move that we adjourn.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. This meeting is adjourned.